Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome for our continuous program, second day on this Sastra marathon effort. Okay, and here we are discussing on what they call Nectar of Instruction. So I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you, and also my gratitude to each and every one of you for being very enthusiastic, to come and come for this discussion. And also, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm very happy to see that huge transformation start happening even on the first day itself. So many people send me a personal message, and of course, there's what's the name? That's one Mataji from India. So she she shared the takeaway. So that shows that Madhumita from Chennai, all right, India. She said that the thing is, I have controlled my sense and direct it towards Krishna consciousness by checking my stability of my emotion each day through journaling. I'm very happy to hear that. I hope that all of you are really paying attention. In other words, I should say, because I'm not in the position to impose any rules and regulation, but it's only my humble suggestion. All right, my humble suggestion, because just by journaling, you can check and balance your daily activity. All right, so that means you are consciously changing yourself. Nothing happens unconsciously. All right, there's no miracle here, because miracle is no longer a miracle in Krishna consciousness. Okay, in Krishna consciousness, there's no miracle, because miracle is no longer a miracle, because to be a devotee itself is such a huge miracle. Okay, because after we went through 8.4 million lifetime, for 8.4 million species, all right, in one species itself also got so many varieties. All right, like yesterday I saw a grasshopper. Grasshopper. I have seen one kind of grasshopper, but yesterday I was thinking why my tulsi is shaking. I was thinking, what is this? When I went there, I got a shock to see such a big grasshopper, very big. Because the grasshopper usually very tiny, right? But it is so big. I think, yeah, should be very big, right? At least 4 inches long. And it's standing, and I don't know, and it's shaking. And it's yellowish and greenish. So in grasshopper itself, got varieties of species. So like that, we have gone through so many species of life. We have gone through so much of kind of birth, like yesterday we discussed, we went through birth through the seed, right? Once upon a time, we were trees. So we born through the seed. And also once upon a time, we were like waterborne, like mosquito. We born through water, perspiration. And once upon a time, we were also into this, how they call, bird species, or another species, reptile. Okay, like snake and iguana all born through egg. Okay, we have gone through that. And we also have gone through varieties of species through the semen, like the mammals, elephant, dogs, cat, yeah, like all these kind of mammals we have gone through, and also in human form. And not only in this planet, but we have came through so many other varieties of planets. All right, there are 3 planetary systems. We discussed that in detail in our Gita Gyan program. Those who don't know what I'm saying, you can go back to my YouTube channel. Who's that? Somebody saying something? Oh, so you can also go back to this. What do you call? You can also go to this my YouTube channel. I have systematically put there chapter 1, chapter 2 is a summary of every chapter in Bhagavad Gita. All right. So when it came to chapter 10, yes, chapter 10. So I have discussed about this universal creation. All right. Where do we stand? Okay. What is universe? What is spiritual sky? That is Vaikuntha Loka. And above that Vaikuntha Loka, it is Goloka Vrindavan. And in between the border is what they call Viraja river. Okay, and in between of Viraja, that means a spiritual world and material world, there's a border, and that border is Kailash, and Kailash is divided into 2, the darker Kailash and the brighter Kailash. The darker side is, controlled by Kala Bhairava, the form of Lord Shiva, and the Vaikuntha Kailash, that one, it is ruled by Sadasiva, who is that original form of Lord Shiva. Then after that comes down, we call Mahesh Dham. Then come down further, we have Durga Dham, all right, Devi Dham, Durga Dham. Dur means suffering, Ka means place. So the entire creation, this material creation is by them. So like that, we have gone through, and out of all these things, then we are in this tiny world, okay, which is not even visible. When we look at this universal creation, in that tiny world, all right, we are in this place called Malaysia or India. So in that place, when sometimes when we fly in, we start to see, we can't even see anything. We only see the thing. Then we come further down, then we start to see some roofs, some trees. Then after that we come down, then only we see human being. All right. Even we go to the skyscraper, when you look down, we are like an ant. So we are just so tiny. So somewhere in this horizon, we were stuck in this form of human being. We think we are so big, but actually we are extremely tiny, you know. So like that. So, and in this kind of place that is which is like a dungeon. Okay, we are living in a dungeon. You know, dungeon. In those days, there's a what they call prison. There's a prison, and below the prison there's a dungeon. All those hardcore criminals, they throw them there. Dungeon. They call dungeon. All right. So we are in that deep dungeon, and we got this opportunity to get to know Krishna. Okay, because in Bhagavad Gita, the entire Bhagavad Gita is to prove that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, in that one verse, Krishna says, right, worship me in the form of Krishna. Okay, we also can say why there's so many other forms. Why we have to worship? Because that's what Krishna says in Gita. So worship me in the form of Krishna. Always think of me. Always abide in me. Being fully absorbed in me, you will come to me. Then after that, in chapter 18, if I'm not mistaken, text 16, somewhere there, he says, no, text 30. Wait, let me see. 34, 35. Man manabhav mat bhakto madhyajama namaskuru mamevash satyam te. Satyam te means, satya means promise. So Krishna says, I promise you this because you are my dear friend. Okay, and yesterday we have discussed about the relationship with Krishna. One is Dashya, that is servant, servitude as a devotee, sadhaka. And above that is friendship, as how this is what they call the relationship of Arjuna with Krishna, friendship. And Krishna keep repeating that, because you are my friend, because you are my dear friend, because you are not envious of me, because you are my close friend, means you won't be envious of me. All right. And therefore I reveal this secret to you. I reveal this secret to you. And this is more secret. And after that, in 1853, 54, 55, 53, 50, I think 1855, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, what Krishna says, whatever I tell you, whatever I told you, ponder over it, think about it, and do as you wish. So there we can see a pure friendship, because sometimes as friend, we cannot force them, right? We cannot tell them, you must follow what I'm saying, right? That's not. So that's what Krishna says, whatever I have told you, ponder over it. Ponder means think about it. Whatever I've told you from chapter 1, all the things I've told you, think about it. And then do what as you wish. All right. So that is the form of friendship. And above friendship is parental, lover, like how the gopis were loving. Then above that is like parental friendship. And above parental is love, all right, madhurya. And of course, Radharani, it is topmost, parakya. Okay, that's a kind of relationship that is it. So now, and also what we have recapped yesterday, as what they call the introduction, Prabhupada said, if as long a person just follow the instruction of Rupa Goswami in this book, Nectar of Instruction, he can achieve the highest success. He can achieve the highest success in this human form of life. All right, that is to become a pure devotee, and at the same time, you can become a personal associate of Krishna. That is the highest thing. So also we have discussed. So the idea about studying this nectar of devotion, it is now we understand. We have no worries about hellish region, because we are not bothered, because hell is totally out of topic now. Because now you all are studying nectar of instruction, hell is out of the topic. It's almost impossible that we go to hell. Then after that, we are also not interested even to go to heaven. Even heavenly kingdom, even like Lord Indra comes and give you the opportunity, come and stay with me for 10,000 years. I got a lot of these apsaras and gandharvas, beautiful girls. You can enjoy with them. And I give you somarasa. Somarasa means kind of alcohol that you can find in heaven. So you drink and be merry. You know, you have nice, good, beautiful life. They are not interested. All right. So then he said, okay, now let's go further. How about Satyaloka, the praise of Lord Brahma? I'm not interested. And how about Vaikuntha Loka? Choose which Loka you want to go. Any of these Vaikuntha Loka. There's Ahovila Dham where Narsingadev stays. There's Ayodhya Dham where Lord Ram stays. All right. There's all that millions of planets of Vaikuntha Loka according to Ishtadeva. Who is your Ishtadeva? You go to that place. So where do you want to go? I'm not interested. Okay, like a story of Gopa Kumar that you can see in Srimad Bhagavatam. He wanted to go to, through that invitation, the Vishnu Dutas will take him to Vaikuntha Loka. When he went to Vaikuntha Loka, he saw Lord Narayana in this forearm in a very majestic form, and everybody was offering prayer. So Gopa Kumar went to him and said, my dear Lord, where is your cowherd boys? Where is your cowherd girls? Where's your flute? Where's all your cows? When he started to speak like that, all the other devotees in Vaikuntha seems to be like upset. Oh, you cannot talk to the Lord like this. We have to worship him in awe and reverence. In Tamil, we call Bhaya Bhakti. Bayindukittu Bhakti seyradhu. Bhaya Bhakti. So, you see, then he says, oh my God, this is not the Lord I recognize. I want to go back to material world. Then he came back. Then after that, he went back to what they call Goloka. There he saw this thing. So even devotee says, okay, so Vaikuntha Loka? No, I'm not interested. Okay, how about go to Goloka Vrindavan? Go to Goloka Vrindavan. I'm not interested. See, what? You're not even interested to go there? Then what do you actually want? I want to be an eternal servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani. That is the topmost achievement. And in that topmost achievement, you do not need to be in Goloka Vrindavan, or you do not need to be in Vaikuntha Loka. You don't even need to be in heaven or Satya Loka, Lord of Brahma, place of Brahma. You do not need to be in anywhere, because these kind of bhakti satisfy your senses to maximum. You feel so satisfied until you don't want to go anywhere else. Even you want to remain in this. Sometimes they say, oh Lord, if you think that you want to throw me into hell, throw me anywhere you like. I don't care. But only one thing I ask from you, please don't make me forget you. Because to remember Krishna, it is such a huge pleasure. All right. So with that contemplation, let's start our today's program. So today, before we start, we have our ritual. What is the ritual? We offer our obeisances to all our previous acharyas, our spiritual master, and all the previous acharyas. We offer them obeisances because all these acharyas in our parambara, Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sambradaya. Yesterday we did the comparison. Okay, that in Sri Vaishnava, the one you see in South India, they put a big tilak with the red thing on the middle, like the Sri Vaishnava, who's then they call Rudra Sambradaya by Lord Shiva, then Kumara Sambradaya by sons of Brahma. They also can't relish what the opportunity we can relish in this Gaudiya Sambradaya. Because in Gaudiya Sambradaya, all our previous acharyas are not an ordinary person. All right. Like for instance, when you look at Sri Vaishnava, we see Ramanujacharya. He's the chakra of Vishnu. Then the Sangha of Vishnu, another this thing, that Desigar. Then all the Alvars. Alvars are all that paraphernalia, all that Vishnu's paraphernalia will take one form as Alvars. All right. So the paraphernalia, that means the weapon, the Sangha, the shank, that chakra, the chakra, what do you call it, chakra? The disc, all right, the disc, Sangha, all right, and all day they will take a form. They are the one who maintains that Sambradaya. But in Gaudiya Sambradaya, all the acharyas who appear in Gaudiya Sambradaya are all Manjaris. All Manjaris and Gopis. Okay, especially Manjaris. So we are the Sambradaya of Manjaris. All right, behind me, you can see behind me, there's a Krishna on the right and left. You see all these, they are the Sakis and Gopis. And their servants are called Manjaris. So the Manjaris is the one who come and appear. Like for instance, Rupa Goswami is called Rupa Manjari. All right. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, I think it's Lavanga, no, Sanatan Goswami is Lavanga Manjari. Right. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is also, there's a Manjari. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is also Manjari. Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So we are all parambara of Manjaris. So here, in this parambara, we don't talk about anything else of Bhaya Bhakti or how you should worship Krishna with awe and reverence, but we worship Krishna with pure love of this thing. All right. So we want to get all their mercy and blessings. So that's why we do this invocation. Invocation means invoking auspiciousness. All right. So we do our Mangala Charan. Mangala means auspicious. Charan means Charanam. All right. So see. So Mangala Charan, we pray to all these previous acharyas and all our spiritual master with their blessings. And also after that, we will also recite Sat Goswami Ashtakam. And we invoke and pray to all the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan to bless us with this pure devotional service. At least not pure devotional service, at least let us give us the understanding of this nectar of instruction in detail. All right. So let's do this. If those who know, you can follow me. If those who don't know, you just can fold your hand and think about Krishna and all the gopis. You can see the gopis behind me. Right. Just think of them and also pray to them. All right. Oh, dear gopis and this thing, please make me your maid servant. All right. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Parantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Parakamlam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagar Jadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayitaye Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignanadayine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dina Tarine Rupa Nuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gauraveer Bhava Bhumestvam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannataya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhubevacha Paditanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratise Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namam Bhakta Saktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Om Tatsat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, now we're going to recite this Sat Goswami Astakam. I think I've shared in the group. You can just open that and try to follow. Krishno Kirtana Gana Nartana Para Prema Mritambo Doni Prema Mritambo Nidhi Dira Dira Jana Priyau Priyau Karau Nirmat Sarau Pujitau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Kripa Barau Bhuvi Bhuvo Bharavahantarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghu Yugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sat Dharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Pada Ravinda Bhajananande Na Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Sri Gauranga Shri Gauranga Gunanu Varnana Vidau Shraddha Samridyan Vitau Papottapa Nikrintinau Tanu Britam Govinda Ganamurtai Anandam Budhi Vardanaika Nipunau Kaivalya Nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Tyaktva Turnam Ashesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sada Tuchavat Bhutva Dina Ganesha Kau Karunaya Kaupinna Kanta Shritau Gopi Bhavarasam Mrittapti Lahari Kalola Maknau Muhur Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Kujat Kokila Hangsa Sarasagana Kirne Mayurakule Nana Ratna Nibadda Mula Vitapa Sri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishnam Ahar Nisam Prabhajatau Jivartadau Yaumuda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Natibi Kalavasani Kritau Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau Chatyanta Dinau Chayau Radha Krishna Guna Smritir Madura Manandena Sammohitau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Radha Kunda Tata Kalinda Tanaya Tirecha Sang Vangshivate Premon Mada Vasad Asesha Daisaya Gristau Pramatau Sada Gayantau Cha Kada Harir Gunavaram Bhava Vibhutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Hey Radhe Praja Devi Kecha Lalite He Nando Suno Kuta Sri Govardhana Kalpa Padapattale Kalindi Vane Kuta Goshtantva iti sarvato vrajapure kedir mahavipalau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau. So today we read the second translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scripture with the aim of establishing eternal religious principle for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of gopis and are engaged in transcendental loving service of Radha and Krishna. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for coming. So today we start our discussion on So today we're going to start our discussion on Nectar of Instruction. Okay, we have already did our preface yesterday. All right, just a quick recap of the preface, especially the last part of the preface, what it says. Okay. Okay, so this is the highlight. Okay, what it says, what Prabhupada is saying, to achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami. We understand what is Goswami means. Go means our senses. Swami means the controller of the senses. If we can't control the senses, we become Godas. Godasa means, Go means senses, Dasa means servant. All right. But to achieve the highest success, in life, we actually to become Goswami. And then after we can control our senses and then a pure devotee of the Lord, okay, one must follow the instruction known as Upadesha Mrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. So Upadesha Mrita, okay, will show you the path, how you could become a great devotee or the pure devotee of the Lord. and also how systematically, just by practicing this, you can achieve the highest success by becoming a Goswami, that's in the controller of your senses. Okay, so now let's look at text 1. So in text 1, okay, in the text 1, nectar of instruction, text 1. First is Vacho, all right? So you can follow me. So Vacho, when you see M at the dot on top, okay, when you see the M dot on top, how are we going to pronounce? We're going to pronounce as That means you're going to pronounce the M from your nose, okay? So it must sound M, but it must cannot have the word okay? So Vacho Vegang. So when you see E, O, we can pull the raga. Naturally, O and E, Vacho Vegang. Okay, you can pull the raga. But for A, you must have a dash on top. If you see a dash on top, then we understand we have to pull the raga. See here, there's no dash, so that is A. When there's a dash on top above A, A. Okay, when you see the I, E. But when you see a I, there's a dash on top, E. All right. So when you see the S, okay, S with apostrophe, how are we going to pronounce S with apostrophe? We're going to pronounce shampoo. Shampoo. Sha. Sha. All right. From the teeth. You close the teeth. Sha. Shampoo. All right. But when you see the S dot at the bottom, what we're going to do? We take the tongue and put it on the cloud. We put it on the top. I don't know what you call that. In Malay, we call awan. So you put that sha. Sha. Okay, it become even a hadasha. So whenever there's a dot at the bottom, we just roll our tongue and put it on top. All right. Okay. So yeah, langit, but English, what do you call it? In Malay, we call langit, but English, there's a word, what? Phalanx, what? Phalanx.
Palate.
Sorry?
Palate.
Palate, yes. Roll your tongue and put it on the palate. Palate means on the top. You know, your mouth, there's a top, right? Like that, okay? Okay, let's try. Vacho Vegang Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udaro Pashta Vegam Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Tiraha Sarvang Apimang Prithivim Sa Sishyat Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udaro Pashta Vegam Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Diraha Sarvang Apimam Prithivim Sa Shishyat Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udaro Pasta Vegam Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Diraha Sarvam Apimang Prithivim Sa Shishyat. Okay, let's look at the translation. Vacha, Vachaha, all right, Vasana. In Tamil, we call Vasanam, Vasanam, all right? Okay, Vaku, Vasanam. So Vachaha means speech. Vegam, urge. Manasa, the mind. Krodha, anger. So why they use the word krodha? Krodha means uncontrolled anger. You know, when we say that there's so many anger, right? Okay, especially say in Tamil, kovam, kadupu, verupu, and all these kind of things. But what is krodha? Krodha means the anger that cannot be controlled, the deadly anger. All right? Just like when Narsinga Dev came, what the anger that he exhibit? Krodha. The anger that cannot be controlled, right? So krodha means anger. Vegam, urge. Jiva, of the tongue. All right. Jiva, Jiva means is the soul. But when you put the H, Jiva means tongue. Okay. Vegam, urge. Udara upasta. Udara upasta means belly and genitals. All right. Vegam, urge. Etan, this. Vegan, urges. Yeah, whoever, Vishaheta, can tolerate. Diraha, sober. Diraha. Diraha means sober. calm and sober, right? Sarvam, all. Sarvam. Okay, in Tamil also is sarvam. Sarvam means everything. Sarvam, all. Api, certainly, imam, this, prithivim, world. Okay, prithivim means world. Sa, that personality, shishya, can make disciple. You know, shishya. Shishya means disciple. So this personality can make disciple. Okay, let's look at the translation. A sober person. Is it recording? It's recording, right? Okay, it's recording. A sober person who can tolerate, okay, the word tolerate, the urge to speak, the mind's demand, the action of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. All right. So what Rupa Goswami is saying here is very interesting. The one person who can tolerate means what? Something is there, but you just ignore it. Like yesterday, Vivan and I had a very long conversation, almost 2 hours over the phone. And this is the thing that we were talking. We are all have all these senses inbuilt in us. All right. We have the sense of speech, the mind's demand, the anger and urges, and all the things we are there. But what Rupa Goswami is telling, when a person who was sober, when the person becomes sober, when he's become self-satisfied, a sober person who can tolerate, who can just simply tolerate what? The urge to speak. All right, number one. Number two, the mind's demand. Okay, number three, action of anger. Number four, urges of the tongue. All right. Number five, belly and genitals. All right. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when a person can tolerate these 6 kind of things, he is qualified to make disciples all over the world. What does that mean by putting up disciple, making disciple? Disciple all over the world. The one who are allowed to make disciple are the Goswamis. Goswamis. That means Goswamis means what? Like sometimes we call Swamijis. All right, Maharaj. But what is Goswami? Goswami means the one who have control, the one who have all that senses under control. So the person, so when you can make disciples all over the world means you become the exemplary person. Because when you want to make disciples all over the world, you have to show some exemplary attitude. All right. It's not that simply you go there, you become a guru, you know, like a lot, we can see a lot of bogus gurus. All right. Like now that another famous guru, like, you know, I don't know from where they keep sending me. He asked me to become the citizen of Kailash. The Nityananda Swami, right? So these kind of bogus gurus are all over the world. But now we must understand, if you want to become a guru, that means this is the person, this is the qualification you become. So that means if you want to make a disciple all over the world means, in other words, you have to be the perfect person, the perfect personality. There is not even a simple impersonality can be there. You know, because see, when we are practicing bhakti, we are just like a white cloth. Okay, now I'm wearing a green kurta. If anything hits my green kurta, suddenly if I got a pen that leaks, it can be seen. But when you are wearing all white, all right, when you're wearing even one small drop of ink, it shows more visible. People can see that the dot of ink in that white cloth more clearer than the white cloth itself. All right. So that means there is some kind of fault. So when a devotee who have certain fault, it always become enlarged. So how to become a good devotee? That you should be able to tolerate the urge of speech, the mind's demand, the action of anger, urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. And when you can do this, you can become, that means imam prithivim. Prithivim means world, and sishyat means make disciples. That means you are qualified. You are qualified to make disciples all over the world. All right. So now let's see the purport. What Srila Prabhupada's comment on this. In Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, okay, in Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text 9 and 10, Parikshit Maharaj placed a number of intelligent questions. All right. So that means we understand. So what is the constitutional position of a person is, number one, all right, we are servants. All right. We studied that in Bhagavad Gita. And what that triggers intelligent when we are putting in questions. Okay, when we ask question, that means we learn. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking question to Krishna, and Arjuna put Krishna in that environment, that situation, so that he asked that question. And later, Krishna put the grandson, right, the grandson of Arjuna, into a situation where he asked question to Parikshit Maharaj. That's when the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. All right. So now in Canto 6, chapter 1, text 9 to 10, Parikshit Maharaj asked a number of intelligent questions. He asked a very intelligent question before the speaker, who is Sukadev Goswami. So one of these questions was like this, the main important question, which triggers our thinking. Because when I start to see this, then I start to, you see, like when we have limited senses, when our intelligence, our senses are so limited, all right, we may not ask the right question. All right, just like analogy, you are looking for a you are start to create donation. You are looking for a donation, and you're approaching a multi-millionaire and go there asking for 10 ringgit. You're seeing a multi-millionaire and just say, can you just give us 10 ringgit donation? All right, that is a total waste of effort, because that multi-millionaire who is so famous of being a very generous person, even you can ask 100,000, he still gives. All right, because we know that we are doing for a right purpose. All right, we are doing for the right purpose. So for that purpose, I go and approach that millionaire and says, you know, Prabhu, that we are printing Chinese books. You know, we are printing Chinese books in Malaysia. We are creating this Chinese preaching environment. That's our project. Therefore, can you give me 10 ringgit? 10 ringgit? All right. But at the same time, when I go and ask him, oh, dear Prabhu, we are doing this Chinese preaching effort. We are printing Chinese books because the book is banned in China, because there's no printing in China. We need to print the books in Malaysia. If you don't mind, can you give me like 100,000? Because we want to mass print. Then he says, well, 100,000. Okay, how if I start with 10,000? Okay, I give you 100,000 the whole year. I'll start 10,000 installment every month. Is that okay with you? Yes. So that means when we have intelligence, we can ask the intelligent question. But the problem is we human beings are all molded in such a way that we are limiting our senses. Right? Like for instance, a person who are highly qualified, right? You know, a person who have done his masters, then after that, on the way of doing PhD, and of course done with PhD, and he's a teacher, very successful English teacher, and he's only paid 5,500. I say, what? You did PhD and your salary is only 5,500? Yeah, I mean, that's a standard salary. So that means even though we are highly qualified, but we human beings always settle for less. It is very natural for a person to settle for less. All right. Sometimes when a person got masters, they sometimes don't even show the master certificate. They just going to show their diploma certificate just to get a job with 1,500 ringgit salary. Right. So that's why we need to refer to this kind of Sastra, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, because we do not ask questions. Because the personality who are conversing there, they asked a question on our behalf. Okay. So this beautiful and mind-blowing question, Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadev Goswami. He asked a fantastic question. And what was the question? Okay, let me get the highlighter. What was the question? He asked, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? He asked this fantastic question. He asked, why do people undergo atonement? Atonement, right? Like Pava Manipu. In Tamil, we call Pava Manipu. They're going through this kind of atonement or parigaram, right? Atonement if they cannot control their senses. All right. For instance, all right. For instance, I love to drink. Example, just an example. I love to drink. All right. I go to the pub. I drank. And while, you know, like, I think all of you have not experienced that. But let me tell you, because formerly I used to have this habit. At the same time, I was a businessman before. And sometimes when we go for a party and everything, it's very common. All right. I have seen with my own eyes. All right. A person who are very respectable in this business circle, very respectable in business circle. He goes there and start drinking. After drink, he start to act like a child. He go around everybody hugging and kissing, you know. You say, oh, you are my brother. I say, oh, what happened to you? You know, and suddenly he act extremely foolish. He act extremely foolish. All right. Have anyone of you seen that like that before? A very respectable person, once they start to drink, they act very foolish. What they say, when I am drunk, I only speak the truth. Anyone of you have seen that, experienced that, or heard about it? You can put a thumbs up, so I know that you are all responding to me. I'm not the only one speaking. Oh, Bunis, you have seen that, Bunis? Right? You have. So, yeah, Bunis is from Penang. All right, because Saturday night, Friday night is a very dangerous place to drive. All right, that's who's another. Okay, yeah. So we start to see when they start to drunk and they start to do all kind of nonsense. Ada experience. So after that they start. Then after that they go back home. They start to get up and they start to have hangover. After hangover they start to remember. Oh my God, I am such a respectful person. And I start to drink this alcohol and I start to act so foolishly. And that will start to regret. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know, then suddenly he called. He said, hey, how did I? Oh, yesterday, what la boss? You the way you did, terrible la boss. You know, you're drunk and you go around going, you see one stranger, you start to hug and kiss him, you know. Really? Yeah. And that fellow feels so disgusted. Why suddenly this drunken fellow coming and kissing? You know, and you go around, oh, your boss. Thank God. I don't know lah. If anybody take your video, next day going to be viral in YouTube, finish, you koya, man. You know, like that. Then after that, you start to regret. Oh, I shouldn't have. Okay, now from now onwards, I'm not going to drink. I am not going to drink. That's it. I'm not going to drink. That's it. All right. But again, next week, Friday comes, the Saturday night fever will start. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. When comes Saturday night fever, you start to, yeah, I have to go party lah. And you forget what happened. So that's what it's a fantastic, brilliant question Parikshit Maharaj is asking. Why do people undergo atonement? Why do they undergo it? If they cannot control their senses. If they cannot control the senses, for what they are doing atonement? All right. For instance, okay. Now, Prabhupada is continuing. For instance, a thief may know perfectly. All right. The thief, a robber may know perfectly that he may be arrested for stealing. All right. And he may actually even be okay. He may be arrested for stealing. He may actually even see a thief arrested by the police. He have seen some of his colleagues all got arrested by the police. Yet he continues to steal. All right. So now what Prabhupada is telling is very nice. So experience gathered is gathered by hearing and oops, what is happening here? Right. So experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. Okay. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. Okay. By seeing and hearing, we gather experience. One who is less intelligent, okay, the person who are less intelligent, all right, gathers experience by seeing. All right. He gathers experience by seeing. And one is more intelligent, he gathers experience by hearing. Okay, by hearing. When an intelligent person hears from the law book and Sastra or scripture that stealing is not good and hears that thief is punished when arrested, he refrained from theft. All right. So when he hear the law book and he start to see when as a thief, when he get arrested, he's going to be punished. So then what happened? A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested. He have to be arrested and punished. All right. He first have to be arrested and punished to learn to stop stealing. So that means they have to see it. Okay, now I go and steal. Then suddenly I take the thing and I'm running. Suddenly one policeman come behind me, jump on me, two policemen jump on my back, you know, press my neck, press my leg, handcuff me and make the handcuff so tight. And after that, hold my back and drag me, throw into the police car, take me to the police station and chuck me into the police, into the lockup. And suddenly there's a tension inspector will come in and he say, what is this fellow's case? He's a robber. He steals someone. Really? And he fight with his wife. He come to the police station. He want to show his anger. He just get up and give him 2 ties, like pam, pam, just release his stress. So you have to go through this kind of experience to learn how to stop. Oh my God, just by stealing, I have to go through these kind of things. That's called the less intelligent people. Okay, however, what happened to the person who are rascal or a foolish man? Rascal, okay, what does rascal means? Sometimes we say, hey, rascal sounds like a very nasty or harsh word. Actually, no. English word rascal means extremely stupid. Okay, when we look at the hierarchy of foolishness, all right, when we look from the less stupid to the supreme stupid, Okay, what are the things? First, we call them as with the thing called foolish. All right, foolish means silly. First, we call silly. Then above silly, we call foolish. Hey, why you can do this foolish mistake? All right, those who are higher than foolish are called stupid. You know, when you call a person, you can tell, hey, you are so foolish, like you shouldn't have done that. He can take it. But when you call and tell the fellow you're stupid, he cannot take it. Because stupid means it's such a even harder words. That means extreme, higher than fools are stupid. And above that, all right, idiot. And above that, as you go on, the supremely stupid fellows, the supreme idiots are called rascal. That means they are totally don't have that capacity to use his intelligence. All right. So we must understand, because the word rascal will be mentioned many times. Don't get carried away. Hey, why the word rascal come out? Oh, it's a no, because rascal is a real English word which explain the person is extremely stupid. All right. So, okay. Now, however, a rascal or a foolish man may have that experience, even though they have that experience, both hearing and seeing, and even got punished before, but still he continues to steal. That means these are the people, after Krishna also steal, you just want to go for it. Even if such a person even if that person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he come out from the jail. If punishment, now Prabhupada is saying this, all right? So now, what he's saying here, if punishment in the jail considered atonement, what is the benefit of such punishment, of such atonement? You know, sometimes when we put into the jail, so what we call jail, so the jail we call it as, a correction center, detention center, detain to be corrected. So how? They put them into the jail behind bar, all right? You can see outside, you'll be hankering to go out, but you cannot, you're thrown inside. So what you are expected to do? You're expected to think of all the mistakes that you have done and to appreciate the freedom once you are freed. So once you are free to go, you should not commit that kind of theft or whatever crime, so that you can improve your life. So now Maharaj is asking, if punishment in the jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? What is that benefit? When they put in the jail, they're supposed to learn, but they still don't learn. Then what is the benefit of having the jail first of all? Okay. All right. Now let's see what Parikshit Maharaj is saying. All right. So then, okay. Then there's Parikshit Maharaj inquired. All right. Okay. Parikshit Maharaj, the inquiry is like this. Drishta Shruta Bayang Yat Papang Jananapyatmano Hitam Karoti Bhuya Vivashaha Prayaschittam Ato Katam Prayaschittam. Prayaschittam means atonement in Tamil, right? Prayaschittam. All right. Then Pachin Nivartate Badrat Kvachit Charati Tat Punaha Prayaschittam Ato Partam Manye Kunyara Sauchavat. Right? So he asked this question. So he said, he compared atonement like an elephant bathing. All right. So this is very interesting. So he compared atonement to the elephant bathing. Okay. The elephant may take a very nice bath in the river, but as soon as it comes out onto the bank, it throws the dirt all over the body. Okay. After a good bath, so nicely, it comes out, it take the dirt and money and everything they put on the body. So what then is the value of the bathing? So what is that value of the bathing? He asked. Similarly, now last say. So similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. There's so many people out there, because Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we know it is a mantra that can purify your mind. The mantra that can release you from all kind of anarthas or unwanted things. Okay. So even though they chant Hare Krishna, but at the same time commit many forbidden things. All right. They commit many forbidden. All right. They do all kind of nonsense. Even though they chant Hare Krishna, but they still perform forbidden things. Thinking that what they're thinking, that their chanting will counteract the offense. So I chant Hare Krishna, I know whatever nonsense I do, okay, there's no sin, because Hare Krishna Maha Mantra means it will remove your sin. But what do you do? Oh, if that's the case, then I just going to have fun, do all kind of nonsense, and later in the evening I just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, thinking that. All right. So thinking like that. So therefore, Prabhupada is explaining of the 10 types of offenses. In japa, in chanting, there's 10 types of offenses, but one can commit while chanting, all right? Of the 10 types of offense, one can commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord. This offense is called Namno Balas, all right? Okay, what the offense is called? Namno Balat Yasya hi Papa Buddhihi, all right? So now let's look at this word. So Namno means chanting. Balat means strength. In the chanting, the strength. Yasya hi Papa means sin. So chanting, thinking that in the strength of the chanting, he can get rid of the sin. All right. So in this thing, he said like committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay. So that means the one of the offense is committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Okay. Similarly, like example, Prabhupada is giving here, like Christians. Certain Christians go to church, confess their sin. All right. Especially this is quite common among the Catholics, right? They have the time for confession. Okay. They go to one room. All right. They go to one room, they sit down there, and the father will come and sit. So of course, it's all hidden. They know who's speaking. And that so the what they call the sinner will confess, my dear father, what I did this week. Monday, I did this nonsense. Tuesday, I cheated this man. Wednesday, I did this. Thursday, I went and banged one floor and run away. Then Thursday, I gave a wrong testimony. I know that person is innocent, but I told he's this thing. So like that, give all that confession. All right. Thinking that confessing their sin before the priest and performing some penance will relieve them from the result of the weekly sin. Right? They think by doing that, all their weekly sins has been removed. But as soon as Saturday is over and Sunday comes, they again begin their sinful activities. After they're done, after that, they are continue the sinful activities, expecting to be forgiven the next Saturday. All right, next Saturday, I go and confess and can get this, what they call, can come out of it. So what Prabhupada is saying, this kind of prayachitta, okay, is called, or atonement is condemned by Parikshit Maharaj. So the Parikshit Maharaj is condemned. And who is Parikshit Maharaj? The most intelligent king of his time, the grandson of Arjuna. All right. Sukadev Goswami, equally intelligent, as befitting spiritual master of Parikshit Maharaj, answered the king as confirmed that his statement concerning atonement was correct. All right. What Parikshit Maharaj is saying is correct. A sinful activity cannot be counteracted by pious activity. This is something that we should understand. Right? Sometimes what we say, oh, I have done so many sins, so I'm doing atonement. Okay. So how do atonement? I go and do this kind of something good. All right. Like for instance, we have 3 types of karma. The one is Sanchari karma that we've been carrying with us since the day that we fall. All right. There's for millions of births, we have a lot of experience. We call Sanchari. And then after that, secondly is we call what they call Prarabdha karma, the karma that has given to us in this life. That means 2-3 births before, whatever karma that we have to go, that we're supposed to suffer, we are suffering now. So today, whatever things you're going through is not something that you've got it from your previous birth. Maybe what you're going through maybe come from another 2 or 3 births before. All right. So next birth, you're going to suffer the karma. So this birth karma, you maybe suffer maybe another 4 or 5 births down. All right. So sometimes when we do some kind of sin or whatever things we do, and after that, what we do atonement. What atonement we do? Okay, now Taipusam is coming. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to cook and feed 100 devotees of Lord Muruga. Okay, I'm going to make this food and like pulisore and like tamarind rice, and I'm going to give away. Oh, so then I'm going to do this kind of, I'm going to feed the poor. I'm going to go to the old folks home and look after them. I'm going to feed the orphanage. So this kind of thing. So what is Prabhupada is saying here must be very important. It's very important. All right. So we must understand the sinful activity cannot be counteracted by pious activity. All right. It can never be counteracted. All right. Example. Now, I have done something very good in life. At the same time, I have done something very bad in life. All right. So because you have done something bad in life, you are thrown into the prison. You are thrown into the prison. But once you go to the prison, you cannot tell them, once upon a time, I did something very good in life. Can we counteract? No. For that mistake that you have done, you have to go to the prison. But once you have done, you finish your punishment, you come out, you enjoy the benefit that things you have done good. Example, like in Malaysia, when Prime Minister was thrown into the prison, he cannot tell, my father created so much of, my father created so much of wonderful things in Malaysia, right? And I was a prime minister and I created so many policies that benefited the country and the people, all right? So can you like counteract? They say cannot. So since we found you, guilty or not guilty is secondary. Okay, I'm not into any politics, please, all right? Don't think I'm involved in any kind of politics because I don't care about the politicians. So they said, okay. So the example is, once you have done that mistake, the crime, you have to be thrown in behind bars. So you have suffered behind bars. All right. Now, of course, he has given home arrest or something like that. Anyway, the arrest is always arrest. So that means he's punished by the rule of the law. All right. The rule of the law is undergoing that kind of punishment. Okay. So what we understand? So the activity, we must remember this. The activity cannot be counteracted by pious activity. You've done mistake, you're going to see the consequences. All right. But whatever good you think, you're also going to see the good consequences. All right. It is just like two different hands. All right. The thumb cannot be changed into this side. All right. I cannot like turn like this, the thumb. So it is all fixed in that way. You do something bad, you have to suffer. You do something good, you have to enjoy. All right. So now, this the real prayachista. Okay. Now we understand. Oh my God. So that means I'm going to enjoy and suffer the consequences. So what is the real prayachita? So the real prayachita, okay, or in Tamil we also can call parigaram. The real parigaram, the real prayachita is what? Or the atonement. What is the real atonement? Is awakening our dormant Krishna consciousness. When we awaken our dormant, okay, what does it mean by dormant Krishna consciousness? Dormant Krishna consciousness means, that means there is a thing that within you, but you have not realized it. Right? Sometimes I see people are using iPhone. Okay. In that iPhone got so many features. All right. So many features. Right. But what features we simply use? We are using the feature of answering the call and what they call checking the message through the WhatsApp messenger, WhatsApp. And sometimes those people are addicted to the social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and all these things. So you just have. So you are not really fully utilizing, because using that iPhone, you can even take camera, you can do this, you even can take a movie using the system, but we don't know how to use it. So it's lying dormant in that phone. All right. The facility is there, but we don't know how to use it. So we just use that very highly phone. We are just using to answer call, to check some social media, and also to see your messages or your email and all these things. Only that. We are not fully utilizing. Similarly, for every human being, there is a dormant Krishna consciousness in them. That means there's a dormant. There's something is there. So that's what it's been proven when Prabhupada went to the West. And everybody said, who want to listen to you? You're coming with such a rules. Wake up early in the morning at 4 o'clock. They say, people will run away. No meat eating. Okay, meat eating is okay. Many people are becoming vegetarian. No, it's no big deal. No intoxication coffee. Oh, okay, can la. Then, no gambling. I don't gamble. I'm not lucky enough to gamble. But no illicit sex. Say, what? The entire Western civilization is on illicit sex. Right? They don't even want to get married. They just simply see each other, like each other, pop, done, and they just go off. All right? There's no such thing. All right? There's no such thing, disciplined life. It's illicit sex is part of their culture. And you're telling no illicit sex. So when Prabhupada went and said, initially, he said, when I was thought of telling this 4 reality principle, I thought that you guys will chase me out. He said, Prabhupada, Swamiji, you are old. All right? You don't understand the young people now. You please go back to India. Your teachings doesn't suit us. He was thinking, Prabhupada really thought that they're going to chase him back to India. He never expected. He least expected, right? He least expected that they have taken it up. So that means he's awakening dormant Krishna. Every one of us got a dormant Krishna conscience. So he went there, he simply chant Hare Krishna,
And everybody suddenly become a devotee. Right? Suddenly everybody become a devotee. And who? The most person who are terribly into sense gratification, the hippies. The hippie says that they are sun worshippers. They say, hey, we born naked, we remain naked. And they don't even wear dress. They always walk on the street naked. They don't even cut their hair. They don't even bathe. They are just like a human animal. When they have taken, they said, you are thinking, but I give you something, Professor, I give you a drug that you can stay high forever. Say what? Chanda Hare Krishna. And everybody start, wow. And some of these most craziest person now today has become the most elevated pure devotee. Some have even taken sannyas. Some even became guru. And what is their background? Very abominable background. So once the Krishna consciousness is awakened, all that nonsense things will go out. And that is that real atonement. Okay. So the real atonement here, second paragraph. Okay. So the real atonement. So the real atonement involves what? What is the real atonement? That you are coming to the real knowledge. You are coming to the real knowledge is the real atonement. For this, there is a standard process. Okay, there's a process, standard process, SOP. So when one follows a regulated hygienic process, okay, example, when one follow regulated hygienic process, that means regulated means you eat at this particular time, you go to bed at this time, all right? There's all regulated and very hygienic, clean. Not like some crazy people at midnight, at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, they love to go to Nasi Kanda and start to whack. Okay, many years ago when I was in Penang, so once in this Pride, there's a what, Zubudia Nasi Kanda, they just newly opened. So around 2 o'clock in the morning, we were traveling. Then my friends all wanted to go and stop for a tea. I say, okay. Then when I was just looking around, suddenly the what they call, the waiter came, want to take order. So they asked, I just say, for me a bottle of water, but they were asking all these things. And then after that, then I looked at him. He looked like really Indian. I asked, hey, are you from India? He said, yes. New arrival? Say yes. So how do you find Malaysia? He looked so disgusted. He was just looking. I said, why? Homesick. Just arrived. How long you arrived? 1 week ago. Oh, 1 week itself homesick already, is it? I said, no. I feel so disgusted. At 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, they are eating meat and chicken and fish and all this rubbish. I wonder how the food get digested in their body. Few people don't go to sleep. He was like so disgusted to see people at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning and whacking a full meal. Right? So that means this is the thing, disease. That means they are digging their grave through the teeth. They are digging their grave. All right. So what Prabhupada is saying, if one follows a regulated hygienic process, so what will happen to him? He does not fall sick. All right. He does not fall sick. So a human being is meant to be trained according to a certain principle. So the human being all has to be trained in certain principle. Even a man is not trained in certain principle, he will have his own principle. We have seen that, right? Like my grandfather never trained in this Vedic system, right? Because he from India came to Malaysia. From India, he came to Malaysia. It's a time for survival for him. At the time of survival, he have no time to follow rules and regulation. Right? He saw the British people around, and he start to adopt into this kind of this thing. So even he was not trained, but he had his own principle. This is my belief system, and this is how my children should grow up. And it's a certain principle. So that means every man, whether trained or not trained, he will have certain principle. But now a person has to be trained with certain principle. And for what we have to train? To revive his original knowledge. What is revive means? I think I've explained that during that Gita Gyan. Revive means what? When a person faint, when you bring them to conscious, when a person faint, like that, when they put a water pump, he come back to, he get back his conscious. So from the faint, coming back to conscious, we call revival. Suddenly a person get a heart attack, they check and the front like that. And they take that, something that they get, they put on the chest, to think, and suddenly the heart beating and he come back alive. So what we manage to revive him. Actually, he came back without breathing, but now we have revived him. So what is that word revive? Revive means, what is the word revival means? Formerly you are alive, conscious, and now you become unconscious. So the process of bringing back your consciousness, we call revival. Okay. Formerly I was conscious, and suddenly I faint. I didn't eat, I faint. So I lost my conscious. Then after that, people throw water on my face, and I come back to my consciousness. So I had that consciousness. In between, I lose my consciousness, and later I revive back my consciousness. So why Prabhupada use this word is so brilliant. Use this word because we have that original consciousness in ourselves. It is inbuilt. It comes in a package deal. Whether you use it or not, it is part of it. You're part of this. Right? So through that standard process, all right. So we have to we have to undergo training to revive our original knowledge. Example, a person don't have experience selling cars. He don't have experience, all right, being a salesman. All right. So, and he go for a training. Then he say, I couldn't get a job. I couldn't join, sell some cars. Now I want to be a car salesman. After you go for this training, so that means you'll be trained the art of selling cars, how you should talk to the customer. When the customer say no, how you should handle it, and how you should convince him to buy the car. You undergo the training. And after the undergo the training, you become a full-fledged salesman. So that means, is that knowledge acquired? Can that salesman can go around tell everybody? No, you have that skill within you. So the salesman the trainer will learn how to trigger the thing out. All right. That is how the training is all about. Because formerly I was a trainer. I used to train on this. I'm a motivational speaker. So we are trained in such a way, even a person who was so dull-headed, we make him excited. We know how to do it. Right? So that's the thing. So now Krishna Prabhupada is saying here, how to revive our original knowledge. We have to train to learn how we could revive our original knowledge. So what Prabhupada is saying, such methodical life is called tapasya. Right? So tapasya means what? Austerity. Okay. So one can be gradually elevated to the standard of real knowledge. That means one, through the austerity. Austerity means what? That means working hard to this thing. All right. For instance, people are all meditating. All right. Like when you see Lord Buddha meditates, tapasya. He meditates just to control his senses. All the rishis and munis and all they are meditating just to control their senses. Okay. Where we learned that? Chapter 6, Dhyana Yoga. Yes, chapter 6, Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains. All right. What is Dhyana Yoga? How you should sit, where you should stay. Your eyes must stay at the tip of your nose. You shouldn't sit high. You shouldn't sit low. You should sit in the middle. You must put a deer skin. Sit on it. Take a deep breath. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Take a deep breath. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Then stop breathing. All right. You take the deep breath. Stop it. Stop breathing. Suspend breathing. Then after that, in that conscious trance, you start to control your senses. So that means all these kind of things we are following just to control it. So this methodical life is called tapasya. Okay. And what is that? By doing that, one can be gradually. So what gradually means? We understand this process will take step by step. It doesn't like today you become a devotee, tomorrow itself you can control your senses. It doesn't work that way. So by gradual process, okay, a person can be elevated to the standard of real knowledge or Krishna consciousness. Then Prabhupada continue. By practicing austerity and celibacy. Celibacy means what? Brahmacharya, right? So by practicing austerity, that means controlling your senses, and also practicing brahmacharya, all right? So brahmacharya means what? Brahmacharya means a celibate, okay? It's supposed to be the first step of student life. Until 25, the boy has to be trained as brahmachari, okay? He shouldn't have allowed to simply roam around with girls and having girlfriends and all this. It's not allowed. They have to practice brahmacharya until 25. When a boy is trained to be brahmachari until 25, he will turn out to be a perfect gentleman. He will respect his wife, respect the thing, and he will have all the intelligence. Okay, anyway. So now, Prabhupada is explaining brahmachari. Is it meant only for the young boys? No. Even a married man, even though we are married, we still have to practice brahmacharya. And what brahmacharya means? We have to restrain our senses, right? Just imagine we have a wife beside us and we have to somehow or other practice brahmacharya, all right? So, why? So, brahmacharya by what? By controlling the mind, by controlling the senses, all right? So, first by controlling the mind, controlling the senses, by giving up one's possession in charity, by being avowedly truthful, be very truthful, by keeping clean, and by practicing yoga asana. Okay, now Prabhupada is explaining that yoga asana. Why yoga asana? Yoga asana is actually very good. Okay, like Surya, this thing. Okay, yoga, you do yoga, right? So frivolous exercise is actually not good for our body. Okay, every day I go for marathon, I go for a jog. Actually, it's very bad for your body. All right, because you are given enough breath. All right, in this lifetime, your prarabdha karma says you're going to breathe so and so time. All right. Okay, example, why we are chanting 16 rounds every day? 16 rounds is equivalent to around 25,000 names of Vishnu. So that 25,000, according to Ayurveda, per day, you're breathing 25,000 times. You count, all right? You breathe around 24,000 times, something like that. So when you chant 16 rounds, you consider the entire breathing of the day you're utilizing in chanting the holy name. Anyway, so what happens if you start to run? You start to breathe faster. When you become angry, you start to breathe faster. So when you are breathing faster means you're losing your breath. All right. But if you do yoga means what? Yoga asana, what do you do? Take a deep breath, stretch your hand, then blow. Then take a deep breath, stretch your leg. Stretch. So stay in one place like Tai Chi. All right. Tai Chi is a fantastic exercise. Tai Chi in yoga. All good because you're holding your breath and in that one place you're stretching yourself and you can be very healthy. All right. Anyway, however, if one who is fortunate, even after that, what we're saying, but if one is fortunate enough, okay, if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a pure devotee, all right, if he can distinct, he can easily surpass all the practice of controlling the mind by the mystic yoga process. All right. So what we understand from here. So one way of controlling the mind is by performing first thing what we see, first is tapasya, austerity. You have to sit and control yourself. All right. Then after that, he gradually elevated to standard of knowledge by practicing austerity, celibacy, brahmacharyam. Then controlling the mind. Oh, you, how la? By controlling the senses, by giving up one's possession in charity, whatever money you have, give away in charity. Possible or not? You, how? Or by avoiding avowedly, by being avowedly truthful, be very truthful and keeping clean, and also by practicing yoga asana. So that's a tedious process. But Prabhupada is telling, if one is fortunate enough, if you are very lucky enough, you will get the association of a pure devotee. He can easily surpass all the practice, right? He can easily surpass all the practice of controlling the mind, right? By mystic yoga process. So you do not need to sit there and follow the mystic yoga process of meditation and this thing like controlling. You do not need to that. You can surpass, you can pass through. How? Simply by following the regulative principle of Krishna consciousness. When you simply follow the regulative principle of Krishna consciousness, you could easily come out of it. And how you do it is through the association of pure devotee. And now the question is, where's the pure devotee? Who is the pure devotee? So now, pure devotee, the job of a guru or a devotee is to give instruction. So now we see, in this book, now we are reading is the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is giving in the terms of purport. So just by studying the purport, you are associating with that Paramaguru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. So when we are distinct, so when we study this, that means we are having an association, even in the comfort of your home. Okay. Now, so now what is the regulative of Krishna consciousness? Number one, refraining from illicit sex. Other than your wife. In our Sastra says, other than your wife, every woman are mother. Other than your wife, every woman out there, every ladies out there are mother. All right. So when we see a very beautiful girl, young girl, and all these things, we feel, wow, look at her. No, we must understand she's your mother. A man born with 6 mothers, we must understand. A person born with 6 mothers. First, the mother that delivers you. Second is the nurse who take care of you when your mother is sick. Now, after delivery, your mother will be very sick, right? Or will be very tired. The nurse is the one nursing you. She's your second mother. Third is mother cow. Say your mother passed away or what? Still you can survive with the milk of the cow. Nowadays, you see nowadays the modern mothers can't even breastfeed. Right? They just try to breastfeed 1 week. Then after that, no more milk, finish. So they have to depend on the formula milk. And where the formula milk come from? It comes from the cow. The cow is the mother. And number 4, the Mother Earth who take care of you, who nurture you, who hold you. Mother Earth is your 4th mother. Number 5, the wife of your guru is the mother. All right? Wife of your guru or the wife of the king is your mother. And number 6, every woman out there other than your wife is your mother. That's why in one of the commandments, in 10 commandments in Bible, it says, in one of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill, in one of the commandments, I think commandment number 4, if I'm not mistaken, Jesus Christ said, Lord Jesus said, looking at a woman in a lusty way, again, let me repeat, looking at a woman in a lusty way is considered adultery, right? When you look at a woman, wow, she's so pretty, wow, pretty girl. It's considered I've done adultery. Can you imagine? But what to do nowadays? They need to take a woman in a skimpy dress to put in a billboard to promote their product, right? You look at the girl first, then only you look at the product. Like this is happening. So this thing. So first thing, so that means how we can do it. So we must understand every woman out there are mother. That's why we call them Mataji. In Tamil, we call Amma. In Amma, we even call an old lady as Amma. We even call a young child, Vama, as Amma. So we call, that means that's the standard, the Vedic standard, other than your wife. We don't call your wife Mataji. Yeah? Okay, there's one religious movement that Sadhu calls his wife mother. That's crazy. It's totally bogus, right? So anyway, so that means first thing is we have to refrain from illicit sex. All right, illicit sex. Number 2 is meat eating. We have to, very important. Meat eating means what? The food that you eat is full of violence. There's no animal happily die for you. All right. When you want to eat mango, you just simply pluck from the tree. The tree don't even see. The tree is producing more mango for you to enjoy. Right? When you want to eat potato, how you know the potato is already done? When you look at the potato tree, how to find out the potato is already ripe or this thing? When I should pluck, when I see all the leaves start to dry up. So the tree dies. So I pull out the root, the potatoes, the carrot. We're eating that. We eat after the plant dies actually. Right? So like that. So that is, they don't protest. But when you take a chicken and want to take the knife and put on the throat, see the way it protests. If you don't believe, go to the market and see. It screams. I think you have not heard the chicken screaming like that in the wild. In the morning, it can irritate you. Wake up. It can wake up. But in that slaughterhouse, it screams from the top of the voice until you can hear the voice breaks. The cows, the goat, even the fish, take out from the water. It's how it jumps. So eating full of violence. Even egg. Some people say egg is vegetarian. No, egg is never a vegetarian. Egg is violence. Because they have to electrocute the chicken. They have to put that hormone, this thing. Then after they start to prepare a lot of eggs. Then after that, they give a kind of electrocuted. I'm not sure now. But in those days, when I was younger time, they call current muttai. They call current egg. Current. Electricity. Right? I think the young people may not understand. People who are around 50s, they should know. Those days, young time, they say current muttai. That's why now they call that egg as vegetarian, because the egg no life. Because the egg is electrocuted. And some jokers says, oh, actually, that egg is vegetarian. And now they start to accept that. And now, unfortunately, that you go to a vegetarian, even a Buddhist vegetarian, they have eggs. Eh, kenapa ada telur? Eh, telur vegetarian mah. Siapa cakap? You punya orang saja cakap lah. Some jokers go and tell egg is vegetarian because egg doesn't have life. Can you see? But it's full of violence. All right? Yes, okay. Then, intoxication. When you intoxicate, say when you drink alcohol and wine and all these things, you cannot think straight. You can't think straight. All right? It's another pillar of sin. When you're intoxicated, you drive. Even that's why now they even now they thought of, if a person drunk and drive, when the policeman catch you, when they find out you're drunk, you have to be prison. And huge fine. All right? So intoxication is very bad. And of course, at last, gambling. Recently, there's one Toto, there's a saying there, 121 million on guy strike. And everybody, when I meet, they talk, oh, yo, what luck that fellow have. 121 million ringgit, man. Walao. 40 over million US dollars. What luck. But imagine, right? How many of them? It's very rare. And some says that guy simply declare we have won that jackpot. But anyway, God knows anyway. So the gambling. So these are the 4 pillars of sin. The 4 pillars that going to limit your growth. So by giving up all these things, by refraining, by controlling this, and how are you going to do it? By engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, this easy process can, this easy process is being recommended by Srila Rupa Goswami. Very simple, right? But how? Okay, let's go on. Do you think you need a short break? Right? Do you think you need a short break? I think it's quite heavy. I understand. Because here itself, Olama, it's too heavy. Okay. Anyway, so now it's 10:23. We just take 2 minutes break. Just get up, go to the washroom, stretch your hand, drink water, and come back with clear mind. Because now Rupa Goswami is going to explain how is that process of atonement, how you can do it. All right. So let me off the thing. Okay. 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 Now we're going to continue our discussion. Okay. So how are we going to control? What is the recommendation? Okay. So what Prabhupada is saying here is very, very important. Okay. The first thing he says, first one must control his speaking power. Okay. We must control our speaking power. Everybody loves to talk. Yes or not? When comes argument or when it comes anything, sometimes I've seen people, when one person start talking, before he could finish, another person will start to talk. And they'll be talking and both of them. So, first of all, we must be able to control his speaking power. Every one of us have the power of speech. We have that power of speech. But as soon as we get into opportunity, we begin to speak. Whenever we get the opportunity, we begin to speak. But if we do not speak about Krishna consciousness, we speak about, other than that, we only speak about all kind of nonsense. Okay? Something like doesn't make sense. A thought, like Prabhupada is giving an analogy, very nice analogy. A thought in the field speaking by croaking. Thought, frog, by croaking. And similarly, everyone who has a tongue wants to speak. Even all he has to say is nonsense. Even though whatever things that he wants to say is only nonsense, but as long as he got a tongue, he just simply want to talk. Right? So now, a croaking of the toad, however, simply invites snake. All right? When the toad croaks after the rain, so when the toad start croaking, what happened? He simply invite the snake. Please come here and eat me. Nevertheless, although it is inviting death, the toad simply go on croaking. All right? Even it's inviting death, it still go on croaking. So now, the talking of a materialistic man or the impersonalist Mayavadi. Okay, what is impersonalist Mayavadi? Another thing that we should understand here. The Mayavadi is the one who says the God don't have a form. The God is formless. Okay, they are even in certain Abrahamic religion also there, and even within that our Sanatan Dharma also we have that Jodi 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 Suyam, Jodi 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 Adul. God has no form. God is light. God is flame. All right, and God has all the power in the form of flame. So these are the impersonalists. So that means talking of a materialistic man or the impersonalist philosopher may be compared to the croaking of a frog. It's compared to the croaking of a frog. They are always speaking nonsense and thus inviting death to catch them. So what do they mean? As I say just now, all of us have given enough breath. All right, we have got enough breath. So that's why sometimes they say Mauna is good. Mauna means you're restraining yourself. So that means when all of us have what they call, when we start to speak, actually we invite. That means we are wasting our breath. So we are inviting death. Please come, catch me. All right, like that. So controlling speech, however, all right. So then another thing is controlling speech, however, does not Okay. Controlling speech, however, does not mean that self-imposed silence or mauna. All right. Like some people say, like they just simply keep quiet. Mauna vrata. So that means the self-imposed silence is also no good. All right. As Mayavadi philosopher think, okay, the Mayavadi thinks I better don't talk. So silence may appear helpful for some time. It may appear helpful sometime, but ultimately it proves a failure. Ultimately, it proves a failure. All right. So the meaning of controlled speech conveyed by Srila Rupa Goswami advocate what? The positive process of Krishna Katha. So what he's saying, so the urge not to speak nonsense is by positivity. I mean, Rupa Goswami is telling you have the strength of speech and you can't restrain from talking, right? People just cannot stop from talking. So he said, let's make it positive. And how? Let's speak about Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha means the glories and the pastimes of Lord Krishna, or chanting the Hare Krishna. Or that means in here it says engaging in speaking process, glorifying the Supreme Personality. Okay, Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, the tongue can thus glorify. At the same time, the tongue also can thus glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord. Okay, they can use the tongue to chant Hare Krishna, glorify the name, and glorify the form of Krishna, and the qualities of Krishna, and also the pastimes. We can use that, right? So the preacher of Krishna Katha, the one who speaks on Krishna Katha, is always beyond the clutches of death. All right? They are beyond the clutches of death because they are not wasting their time talking nonsense, right? When two persons start to talk, sometimes it also can create fight. Okay, during that Gita Gyan class, I gave one example, my real life example I've seen. When I was young, I used to do this prison preaching, right? The three devotees, okay, Mahavaraha Prabhu, Siva Chaitanya, and myself, 3 of us used to go to that prison. So once we went to the Kajang prison, they're newly opened. They are from Pudu, they moved to Kajang. So when they opened that Kajang prison and they invited people from Sanatan Dharma to give talk. So 3 of us, I only went there once. So when one day, suddenly one guy, what they call inmate, he was there. Suddenly he asked a very intelligent question, and all of us got a shock. He said, "Why?" Then after he asked that question, we answered. Then after that, that my friend Mahavaraha asked him a question. He said, "You seems to be very intelligent, but why you end up here? What went wrong?" He said, "My friend and I were chatting. Suddenly, a friend of mine said something bad about my mother. All right, said something very bad about my mother. All right, it's just jokingly. So at that time, I was not in the right mood, and suddenly he said, "Hey, like sometimes they use the bad words using the mother. That quite common." He said something bad about my mother, and I got angry, and I just gave him a tie slap. When he just he gave him a tie slap, and when he slapped him, that fella dropped and died. So I am imprisoned 7 years for the murder without intention. Can you see that? Because of speech. The fellow talked nonsense, he got a tie slap and he died. All right. And now also we also see what happened to him in anger. We'll go on. So now let's look at this. So this is the significance of controlling the mind. So now we understand. So we all have to control our power of speech. So what we can control the power of speech is simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. You can ask, I hope that you all are chanting. If you chant minimum 16 rounds, after you finish your chanting, you don't feel like talking to anything. You don't feel like talking any nonsense. After you put down your bead bag, you start to see your tongue will be go on chanting. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Because you're chanting 16 rounds, afterward, you start to see, and you start to feel a huge, what they call, peace of mind. Okay. Now we have already seen that the power of speech. Now let's look at that second one, right? So now, second one is okay. Now, what is the second problem that we are going through? Okay, the restlessness or the fickleness of the mind, manovega. Okay, the restlessness and the fickleness of the mind. See, when a person, the mind, if you can control the mind, your mind can be your best friend. If you cannot control your mind can be a worst enemy. All right. We have studied that in Bhagavad Gita, I think in chapter 7 or 8, right? I showed that example of a person committing suicide, right? I spoke about that, all right? So there, we have discussed, right? What Krishna says, when a person can control the mind can be the best friend. If the person cannot control the mind can be worst enemy. The mind can even trick a person, even to go and commit suicide, to kill himself, which is not worth it at all. So the restlessness, we are always sometimes restless. Sometimes we see people, oh, I cannot sleep at night. So therefore they take sleeping tablet. Why? What is the reason they take sleeping tablet? To hallucinate the mind, to keep your mind go drowsy and you go to sleep. Because the mind is so restless, at the same time very fickle. All right. Sometimes when you go to this, when we go for shopping, especially for any festival, like a few days ago, I went to this one for grocery shopping. I saw a group of Chinese family. They're shopping for Chinese New Year, and there's too many options out there. So they take this and take that, and that lady was meditating which one to take. She cannot make a decision. Then after that, the children say, you got something there? Got there and there. So I believe that end up she spent there for a few hours, but end of the day, she not buying it. Okay, it's quite popular among ladies, right? With due respect, right? When I first got married, when I go for shopping with my wife, that's it. I have to put, the first thing I go there, I have to look for a place to sit. She'll be going around for hours just to buy maybe a pair of dress. I'm just giving an example. All right. So now, so the restlessness and fickleness of the mind. Okay, just think about yourself, because I ask you to make your own journal, right? So keep your journal and say, will you have restlessness or fickleness of your mind? Okay, now how to do this? So the restlessness or fickleness of the mind is controlled when one fixes his mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. When we start to fix our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna, we have nothing, the mind and the thing will not run anywhere else. Okay, so in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela text 22, chapter 22, text 31 says, Krishna, Surya Sama, Maya Haya Adakara, Yahan Krishna, Tohan Nahi Mayaro Adhikara. So Krishna is just like a sun. Okay, and Maya is just like a darkness. See how nicely it says. Krishna is just like a sun, and Maya means illusion, or the fickleness, or this thing. The thing is just like a darkness. If the sun is present, there's no question of darkness. Yes or not? Yesterday night, this room was dark. But today, when the sun arises, I was wondering where the darkness has disappeared. Hey, Mr. Darkness, can I see wherever? Because it just disappears. When the sun present, there's no place of darkness. So similarly, when there is Krishna, who is like a sun present in your life, there is no darkness in your mind. In chapter 10, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text, oh Krishna. What is it? Chatur Sloki, 10, what is it? 10, can anyone help me? The Chatur Sloki?
8, 9,
chapter 10, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11. 8, 9, 10, 11, 4. So the 8, 9, what they call? 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. 11. Okay. Chatusloki number 11. The 4 important slokas of Bhagavad Gita. What Krishna says. When to show my devotee special mercy, I will go and light up. I'll be the torch of knowledge. The torch, like a torchlight, like those days as a fire torch. With the torch of knowledge, I go into the heart and remove the darkness born out of ignorance. All right. Through the torch of knowledge. So Krishna says, so once we start to practice Krishna, then we start to fix our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna is just like the sun. When he start to arise in your heart, all the darkness which is born out of ignorance will dissipate. What is dissipate means? We can say it disappear, but dissipate means it just it doesn't exist. The ignorance, it will just like everything will be disappear from the heart. All right. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, and there's no possibility of the mind being agitated by Maya's influence. All right. When we keep Krishna in our mind, So there's no place for Maya influence, all right? So the yogic process, that means the yogic process negating all material thoughts will not help. So Prabhupada is explaining, what is the yogic process? Like people are sitting and try to do meditation to control the mind. It doesn't help. It will not help, it says, all right? Try to create a vacuum in the, okay? To try to create vacuum in the mind is artificial. What is vacuum? Vacuum means the place that nothing exists. The word vacuum means nothing exists. Nothing exists, right? Void, like nirvana, like Buddhists all want to achieve nirvana. Nirvana, nir means nothing. Vana means place, the place that nothing exists. But we all think nirvana means heaven. No, nir means none. Vana means place. All right. Vrinda, Vana. Vrinda, the place Vrinda, Vana. Place called Vrinda. All right. Or Vana also we can call as forest. That's why I call Vana Prastha. Vana Prastha means the one who have taken Vana Prastha or retired life, a place. All right. So Nirvana, a place that nothing exists. So when you try to empty your brain, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. So what it says, try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. The vacuum will not remain. It will never remain. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna is best, one's mind will be naturally controlled. So what Krishna says in chapter 13, Bhagavad Gita, 13:12, I think. All right. The one who can control his mind, the one who is humble, the one who is tolerant, the one who clean. All right. There's a few things, right? He'll be telling one by one. All these things are considered knowledge. Other than this, everything's ignorance. Being humble, being tolerant, being this, being that, all these, other than that, everything is ignorant. Sometimes we'll be wondering, how can I achieve that? Then after that, Krishna continues, he said, but those who practice bhakti, all these qualities naturally will be acquired. You all understand? But those who practice bhakti, 13:13, but 13:14, I think, if those who practice this bhakti, all these things that seems to be impossible can easily achieve. So similarly, when you look at this here, what Rupa Goswami is telling, if one thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, all right, one's mind will naturally control. And you know, my dear Prabhus and mothers, let me tell you one thing, because I'm also a mind science trainer before. Now I'm not doing. Formerly, I was a mind science trainer. I have seen people who are coming with so much of severe stress, severe distress, and they come for mind science, a kind that how they can control the mind and everything. All right. But I will tell you one thing. If a person who can keep the mind under control, all right, at least 5% he could maintain, can control the mind. We are not talking about 100% because mind is huge. The mind is powerful energy. Even you can control 1% of your mind, just a 1% or 0.00001%. If you could just control your mind, you will not believe the happiness that you're going to get. You will feel so satisfied. You feel so sublime. You can never believe the feeling of keeping your mind under control. All right. That is artificial way by telling that this and that. But when we talk about Krishna consciousness, when we chant Hare Krishna on a daily basis, when we study Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis, all right, every day you read Bhagavad Gita, every day you chant Hare Krishna, and of course now we're bhakti, nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction. I suggest that make it a nectar of instruction like a garland and put around your neck. Every day. You will not believe the peace of mind. I used to have insomnia. I cannot sleep. Last time I cannot sleep at night. When I go to night, I start to think this thing, that, finish. There goes your night. But now I simply go pop, knock out. All right. So that's the thing. So if one's mind is naturally controlled when we start to practice Krishna consciousness, even just for the sake of testing it or experimenting it, try and see. Chant Hare Krishna daily, 16 rounds, and study your Bhagavad Gita on a daily basis, you start to see how your life transforms. At the same time, since you are studying nectar of instruction, put it in a journal. Oh, today I was having an agitated mind. Oh, okay, now at night you just think about it. What went wrong and where did you go wrong? What you suddenly start thinking that you lose your mind. By that, you can control your mind. Okay. Now, let's continue. This is okay. Similarly, anger also can be controlled. Okay. Similarly, anger can be controlled. Okay. We cannot stop anger altogether. Of course, we cannot stop anger altogether. But if we simply become angry with those who are blaspheme the Lord and the devotees of the Lord, we control our anger in Krishna consciousness. Right? So anger is something there, but you cannot control it. Right? There's no way you can subdue it. But how you can practice it? When someone start to speak very ill about Krishna or his devotees, blaspheme, then we can show our anger in Krishna consciousness. Example, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all right, became angry with the miscreant brother called Jagai and Madai, who blasphemed and struck Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the form to show the topmost love. He's not here on a mission to kill anyone. Because you see all that mission of Krishna, the Narasimha came to kill Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, Varahadev came to kill Hiranyaksha, Lord Ram came to kill Ravana, right? Krishna came and killed many demons, including Shishupala, Kamsa, right? Like all these people, but in this avatar of Krishna, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or this thing, he came not to kill anyone. But what happened? These brothers, Jagai and Madai, were drunk. They were drunk and terrorized the road, And suddenly Lord Nityananda came and told him, please chant Hare Krishna. He said, what Hare Krishna? Take that. He took that the mug. Those days they used to have that earthen mug. He took it and hit Nityananda Prabhu said, and blood started to ooze out. When Lord Chaitanya heard that, he became so angry, he took his Sudarshan Chakra and came almost to kill him. And immediately Lord Nityananda stopped him. Say, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, stop. Say, no, you have done this. I'm going to kill this miscreant. Say, wait. Your mission is not to kill anyone. If you think you want to kill Jagai and Madai, you have to kill everybody here, because everybody is like Jagai and Madai. Right? So what? He showed the anger in this protecting. Okay. So in Shikshamrita, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke in Shikshamrita. Okay, yesterday we understood, we have read. Shikshamrita means only this, the sixth instruction that Lord Chaitanya gave. Right? So the instruction. So one of the instruction is Trinat api sunichena taror api shahishnuna. What that means? So one must be as humbler than the grass, and one must be as tolerant than the tree. Okay. So one should be as humbler. That means when you step on the grass will still come back. When you step on it, still come back. When you cut the thing, still. So you must be even more humble than the grass. And after that, you see the tree, people put the mark on the tree, they take one thing, they just like to nail the tree, put the advertisement on the tree, nail and everything. So the tree simply stand there and just tolerate it. And you have to be even more tolerant than the tree. When a person could be like this, he is the person who could chant Hare Krishna. Okay, anyway, it's out of the topic. So one must be as humble as than the grass and as tolerant as the tree. He said that. But one may ask, then why did Lord exhibit this kind of anger? When he said tolerant, but why he should this kind of anger? So the point is, one should be ready to tolerate all insults of his own self. When people criticize you, people say anything, you must be able to tolerate. But when Krishna or his pure devotees blaspheme, a genuine devotee becomes angry and act against the offender. Or krodha, anger, cannot be stopped, but it can be applied rightly. It was the anger. Okay, example is the anger that Hanuman set fire on Sri Lanka. That anger of serving Lord Ram, he became so angry, he set the fire. He burned the entire Sri Lanka. Then after that, he went and told Ravana, I can even kill you with my tail, but I want to give this pleasure for my master to do that. Right? So that anger. But he was his worship. But because of that, his worship as the greatest devotee of Lord Ramachandra. So this means that when we utilize the anger in the right way, okay, so that means that he utilized the anger in the right way. Arjuna serves as another example. He was not willing to fight, but Krishna incited his anger. He triggered him. You must fight. To fight without anger is not possible. Yes or not? To fight without anger is not possible. So Krishna created that anger. So anger is control. However, when utilized in the service of the Lord. So you can use that anger in the service of the Lord. Now, so for the urges of the tongue, okay, what is the urges of the tongue? It's very, very important. So the urges of the tongue, we all experience the tongue wants to eat palatable dish, right? Like we have seen that people are simply go travel, like yesterday I gave an example, people are flying all the way from Singapore to Ipoh just to eat, all right? So generally, we should not allow the tongue to eat according to its choice. We shouldn't allow the tongue to eat as he likes. It should be controlled, the tongue, by supplying prasada. So when we start to eat prasadam, we should tell the tongue. The tongue says, "Wah, wah, 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 I feel like eating nasi kanda." No, 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 you're going to eat prasadam. Right? The tongue says, "I feel like eating ice cream." No, you only can eat gulab jamun, which is offered to Krishna, gulfi. So we must control the tongue by supplying it with prasadam, right? The food that we offer to Krishna. So the devotee attitude is that he will eat only Krishna. We only eat when Krishna gives him prasadam. The devotee, the mood of real devotee is he only eats when there's prasadam. This is the way to control the urge of the tongue. One should take prasadam in scheduled time and should not eat in a restaurant or sweetmeat shop. We must remember this. So we should take prasadam at a scheduled time, not simply as you like. At that time, morning, lunch, and dinner, right? You must eat at the scheduled time and should not eat in restaurant or sweetmeat shop. What is restaurant? Oh, we go to this vegetarian restaurant. We shouldn't eat that. We should eat nothing that been prepared. Though we only must eat the food that first prepared with sanctification, with this thing, and we offer the food to Krishna, and we only eat prasadam. All right? We only eat prasadam, okay? And we should not eat in restaurants. Please remember this. But the problem is, I'm working. How am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Pray to Krishna. Pray to Krishna. Pray to Prabhupada. And just go on chanting Hare Krishna. And Krishna will arrange that thing to you. I never expected this to happen to me. All right? Because sometimes we are busy, we are going around and sing. But some or other Krishna arranged that now, every day we only make sure we take prasadam. Right? But is that mean that I'm not? Because before I was reading this, I like to go to this place called Ipoh. There's one place famous for karimi. But now after seeing this, right? But we are. So what if you think you want to control your tongue? The best place to do it is by not eating outside, not giving the whatever your tongue asks for, but just to take prasadam. All right, simply to satisfy the whims of the tongue and belly. Okay, we should not eat in restaurant or sweetmeat shop simply to satisfy the whims of the tongue and the belly. If we stick to the principle of only prasada, the urges of the belly and the tongue can be controlled. The tongue and the belly can be controlled. Okay, now, oh boy, it's getting time. So in a similar manner, the urge of the genital or the sixth impulse can be controlled when not used unnecessarily. All right, the urge of the genitals. That means the sexual relationship or the sex impulse. All right. Okay, I have seen people who are so addicted to sex. They are so addicted to sex, right? Right. So what is that? The urge of genital. So the urge of genital, it is also, okay, it has to be controlled. A person who can control, like for instance, the semen discharge, all right? When the semen discharge, see, it takes I think around the day Radhanath Maharaj was talking about it. You see, it takes at least 2 liters of blood to produce an ounce of semen, right? So it is very important, okay, not to this thing, okay. But now how to do it? So now the genitals should be used only to beget Krishna conscious child, all right? So Krishna conscious, that means in other words, we have to use our genitals just to produce children who is Krishna conscious. Otherwise, they should not be used. So the Krishna conscious movement encourage marriage, not for the satisfaction of genitals. They encourage marriage just not to have fun, but for begetting Krishna conscious children. What happens if you don't get a Krishna conscious children, you get otherwise? It's going to be a hell of a time, all right? But sometimes it's okay. Now we are starting, some or other, we don't know whether our children is following. It's okay, it doesn't matter. But we must remember to teach our children all this, because all of us are adult here. So as an adult, we have to train. And of course, we have some young children, young people also here, right? Young boys and girls also here. So we must always remember, if you don't get a Krishna conscious, what is Krishna conscious children? The children which is obedient, which is good. I mean, obedient, of course, part of their growing up, they also will be very disobedient. They all have this thing, but they are under control. So it's going to be a benefit to us, right? So as soon as the children are little grown up, they are sent to a Gurukul school where they are trained to become fully Krishna conscious devotee. Many such Krishna conscious children are required, and one who is capable of bringing forth Krishna conscious offspring is allowed to use his genitals. Now, right. So when one who is fully practiced, okay, when one is fully practiced in the method of Krishna conscious control, he can become qualified to become a bona fide spiritual master. So when this person can control all these things, right? So we can be qualified to become a bona fide spiritual master. Okay, because to be a spiritual master, you must remember that every part of the body and mind, everything should be under control. So in his Anuvritti explanation, Upadesha Amrita, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes of our material identification that create three kinds of urges. Okay, that means the urge to speak, the urge of the demand of the mind, and the demand of the body. There's only three types: the speech, the demand of the mind, and also the demand of the body. So when the living entity falls victim, so you may see the word that he used, fall victim to these three types of urges, his life will become inauspicious. All right, inauspicious. Okay, whether it's inauspicious, that's first, but at least your life can never be a very happy life. You're going to have a terrible life. One who is practiced resisting these demands or urges is called tapasvi, right? That means those who practice resisting, those who want to control it by force is called tapasya, or the one who practice austerity. By such tapasya, one can overcome victimization of material energy, okay, and external potency of the Supreme Lord. Okay, now what he says. So when a person could control or tapasya, one is through this, okay, what is, we are resisting this demand, all right? The resisting of demand by practicing Krishna conscious, one can overcome victimization of material energy. See, this material energy, this Maya is so powerful. If you do not really control it, you will become the victim of it. Victimization of the material energy. What is that victimization? You can get diverted away from this spiritual life. You can be diverted into sense gratification. A person can distinct. You know, it is not so great. It's not so exciting to eat meat. It is not so exciting to drink alcohol. It is not exciting to gamble because you think it's exciting. You think that is life. But what is that? It's only disease and frustration. All right. Sometimes when a person who buys number KTM, Kuda, Toto, Magnum, when they go and buy the number, they are so sure, I'm going to strike. They buy the number and they start to imagine, today I'm going to strike 1 million and I think I'm going to settle the debts. I'm going to send my children to this university. I'm going to... The next day when they open the paper and see, it's nothing at all. When they buy it, they feel so sure. It looks like so sure reality they're going to strike. Right? End of the day is frustration. I eat whatever I want. This cannot lie. Just go and have fun. What is it? I'm still young, man. But when you eat, end of the day, you're going to suffer. Right? When we get older, we get diabetic, we get this, we get, you know, like, I don't want to mention name. I shouldn't quote all these things, but I'm just giving an analogy. Right? A person who had fantastic life when they were young time, and once they get old, they get into diabetic. A small prick on the toe. The first toe got cut off. The second toe got cut off. The third got cut off. The ankle got cut off. The knee got cut off. And now they cut off the leg from the thighs. Then after that, they found the same gangrene start to appear on the left leg. Slow. And now 2 legs gone. How terrible. So you think that you want to be a normal person? Yes, you can. But your result is horrible. Right? So that's why what Bhakti Siddhanta says, victimization is a very powerful word. Victimization of material, because material energy or the external potency, right? It is very ugly. So when we refer to the urge of speak, we refer to the useless talking. Okay? And that like the impersonal Mayavadi philosopher, the Mayavadi philosopher, like Buddhist philosophy, they all talk nonsense. They talk something that doesn't make sense. We have a devotee, right, who is a former Buddhist to join us, all right, a Chinese couple. So what she said, they said nothing exists. So she asked a question. You see the mountain, you're telling the mountain don't exist? You see a hill, and I'm seeing a hill there, and I'm telling the hill doesn't exist. What is that? I can see the hill there. I can see everything there, and you're telling me nothing exists. What is this? Right? I can see my camera here, I can see my mic here, I can see my computer here, and I'm telling you it doesn't exist. You understand? So this is all nonsense. So impersonal Mayavadi talk, all these are useless talking. Or the person engaged in fruitive activity, technically the karma kanda, or the materialistic people who simply want to enjoy life without restriction. All right, like sometimes when the people get involved, some kind of motivation, it's kind of MLM business of, oh yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. All these things are, that means they are all nonsense. They are wasting their life. All such talks, literature and practical exhibition of the urge to speak. Many people are talking nonsensically or writing volumes of useless books. There's so many books out there which are so useless, right? And all these result to the urge to speak. To counteract this tendency, we have to divert our thinking to subject of Krishna. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 10, Text 11. Na yat vachas chitra padang harir yasho, jagat pavitram prakrita karhichit. Tat vayasang tirtam ushanti manasa, na yatra hangsa niramantyu shikshayaha. So what it says here, all right? Those words which do not describe, all right? Those words which does not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, okay, are considered by saintly person, are like the place, unto the place of pilgrimage of the crows. Since all perfect persons are inhabitant of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there, all right? So sometimes when we go for place of pilgrimage, all right, we go to India, we go to this kind of certain pilgrimage place. But we go there, we do not associate with devotees. The place of pilgrimage is for what? It's place of learning. You go there, you associate with the devotee, you try to learn something. But you go there, you start to talk nonsense, you start to associate with Mayavadis and all these things. So in this Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami says, that kind of place, all right, is considered the place of pilgrimage of crows. You know crow? Kaka. Crow means the black bird, right? The crow. So it's just a place of pilgrimage of the crows, all right? It's a waste, all right? Because, and since the all perfect person are inhabitant on the transcendental abode, they do not derive. So the people do not take happiness visiting such a place. Then after that it says, Tatvat Vishargo Janataga Viplavo, Yasmin Prati Shlokam Abadhyavatyapi, Namanyantasya Yasho Nikitani Yat, Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadava. So on the other hand, that literature which is full of description of transcendental glories, right? When there's a literature full of description of transcendental glories, the name, fame, forms, and pastime of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, right? Full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution to the impious life, all right? To bring a revolution to the impious lives of this world misdirected civilization. In this world, when we see, we are living in a direction which is misdirected, all right? It creates a revolution. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, or are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So even though this kind of this thing is not properly prepared or composed, we should understand this is the by the purified men, they accept this, all right? Heard and accepted this as those who are thoroughly honest, all right? Even though it's not perfectly composed, maybe the English translation doesn't look good, but still it's okay. It is considered perfect, all right? So now the time is already 11 o'clock, all right? So all right, okay, we got such a long way. So shall we continue part 2 of this thing? So shall we continue tomorrow? Because this first verse is a very important verse. Of course, there's a huge Prabhupada is explaining. Then after that, Prabhupada is going to refer from the explanation of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Like that, what they call, there's a long way to go. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Oh, this is verse 2. Okay, let me see. 1, 2. Okay, just give me a second. Huh? Let me check. Okay, any one of you got a Nectar of instruction book? Those who does not decrypt. Let me see. Got how many more? Is it okay? We overshoot the time by half an hour. Okay. Okay, there's another 3 or 4. Anyone? Is it okay? We just overshoot by half an hour. Will that be okay?
Okay, Prabhu.
Can, huh? Okay. All right. Now. Okay, right. Okay. Now. There's another message coming in. Oh, it's Kandabana. Okay, Prabhu. All right. Now. All right. So the conclusion is that only when we talk about devotional service to the Supreme Personality, only when we speak about devotional service, can we refrain from useless, nonsensical talk. We should always endeavor to use our speaking power solely for the purpose of realizing Krishna consciousness. Okay, it's very straightforward. For the agitation and the flickering of the mind, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada says, for the agitation or the flickering of the mind, they are divided into 2 divisions. The first division is called Avirodha Priti, all right, or unrestricted attachment. Okay, so that means first is called Avirodha Priti, which is called unrestricted attachment. And second, we call Virodha Yukta Krodha, or the anger arising from frustration. Okay, so that means the flickering of the mind, agitation or the flickering is divided into 2. Number 1 is we call Avirodha Priti, or the unrestricted attachment. Secondly, we call Virodha Yukta Krodha. That means anger arising from frustration. Okay, so adherence to the philosophy of Mayavadi. Okay, the Mayavadi, again I say, belief in the fruitive result of the Karmavadis. All right. Okay, they believe in the fruitive result of the Karmavadis and believe in plans based on materialistic desire is called Avirodha Priti. Okay, what is Avirodha Priti? That means believe in the fruitive result. Okay, I do something, I get the result, number 1. And number 2, believe in the plans based on materialistic desire. Now, sometimes when they set a plan, okay, this is our game plan, this is what you do. So, this kind of things is called Avirodha Priti. Okay, Jnani, Karmi, and materialistic plan makers generally attract the attention of conditioned soul. But when the materialists cannot fulfill their plan, so after they follow Avirodha Priti, that means they put the game plan, all right, they believe the system and everything. When they can't achieve their plan, so when the device are, okay, so materialistic plan, they cannot fulfill their plan. And when the device are frustrated, they become angry. So what happened? Frustration of material desire are produced of anger. Okay. So when we become frustrated, so sometimes example like our children, we want our children to look after us and everything. And at the end of the day, the children don't even look at us. We are frustrated. I brought them up so nicely. I give them everything. Now look at my child. Not even bother to call me. Like that day, one lady was calling and lamenting. I have done so many things. My daughter don't even bother to call me. So that frustration, then after a while he's frustrated, then suddenly she starts to speak very angrily. Right? So this is the thing. So we learn some new words here. That means number 1 is Avirodha Priti, means setting the plan based on materialistic this thing. And when we don't achieve that plan, we come to the level of Virodha Yukta Krodha. That means anger arising from frustration. Okay. All right. So if you have any question, maybe after that, you can write down the question, then you can ask later. All right. Or you can even ask in the group, we can still manage that. All right. Anyway, then after that, similarly, the demand of the body can divide into 3. So now Prabhupada is dividing one by one, right? So the demand of the body can be divided into 3 categories. So just now the demand of the mind, 2 categories. Now the demand of the body is 3 categories. Number 1 is demand of the tongue, the belly, and the genitals. All right. The demand of the body, belly, and the genital. One may observe, if you really think, all these things are in the straight physical, okay, in the straight line. Example, now, see, I'm sitting here. So in the straight line, tongue, belly, genital, in a straight line. Can you, do you notice your tongue, your belly, and your genital in a straight line? Okay. So as far as the body is concerned, okay, the bodily demands begin with the tongue. Okay. The bodily demand start from the tongue. If one can restrain the demand of the tongue by limiting activities to the eating prasada, the urges of the belly and the genitals can be automatically controlled. All right. So what we need to do, we must always remember that we are just, when we can control your tongue, you can control your belly, you can control your genital. When this thing is controlled, immediately you can control your mind. That's why we are saying chanting Hare Krishna very important, because the vibrations start from the tongue. All right. So now, what they call, what is his name? Bhakti Siddhanta Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Okay, he made a prayer. All right. They call Prashadam prayer. Usually before we take Prashadam, we chant this mantra. So let's look at this. Sharira avidya jal, jadindriyaya tahe kal, jiva pele vishay shagare, tora madhye jiva ati, lobo mai sudurmati, toke jeta katina sangsare, Krishna boda doyamoy, karibar jiva joy, swa prashad anna dilobai, say anna mrita kau, Radha Krishna gunagau, preme dako chaitanya nitai. So what it says here. So what they call, Rupa Goswami is mentioning here, oh Lord, the material body is lump of ignorance. The entire material body is lump of ignorance, and the senses are network of path leading to death. All right. So now we are all, what is, and sometimes when you see a person, the cause of death, okay, what we can think, or the person died of cancer, the person died of heart attack, the person died in an accident. And where the disease came from? Because of uncontrolled senses. When a person go on drinking alcohol, he somehow or other get into diabetic. And through the diabetic, he go into diabetic coma and he dies, and his body get amputated and something doesn't heal. When a person get cancer because he's having this wrong lifestyle, like smoking and drinking, he gets cancer and he dies. When a person dies in a car crash because he drives so fast, or drive too slow, or it's not even paying attention. Right? So that's why it says the senses are the network, all right, that leads a person to the path of death. Somehow or other, we have fallen into the ocean of materialistic senses. And all of these senses, the tongue is the most voracious and uncontrollable. You can control anything, but not easy to control the tongue. All right? It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us. You have sent us this nice prasada. For what? To help us to conquer the tongue. Therefore, let us take this prasada to our full satisfaction and glorify your Lordship. Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in full love call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. In love, call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. So now this is the mantra before we chant, before we eat prasadam. So now let's look at this. So that means how important is prasada? Even he says, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, to control the tongue is not a joke. It's very, very hard task. All right. Then there are 6 kinds of rasa. Okay, there's a 6 kind of rasa or the taste. And if one is agitated by any one of them, even a person is agitated, even any one of them, he becomes controlled by the urges of the tongue. Some person are attracted to the eating meat, flesh, crabs, eggs, and others that produced by semen, blood, and eaten in the form of dead bodies. All right. All right. Now. All right. So some people are attracted to eating meat, fish, crabs, and eggs, which are things produced by semen. All right. The semen of animal. And also by blood and eaten in the form of dead bodies. Others are attracted to eating vegetable, creepers, spinach, milk, and products that for the satisfaction of the tongue's demand. Such eating for sense gratification. Now see, such eating for sense gratification, that means just to satisfy your tongue, including the use of extra quantity spices like chili and tamarind, is to be given up by the Krishna conscious person. All right. Of course, so because when we make prasadam, we don't put all these in extra. Like some people say extra spice, extra chili, extra, puli, right? Tamarind is to be given up by Krishna conscious person. To use a pan, right? The vettala, they put something, they put pan, all right? Haritaki, betel nuts, various spices used for pan making, tobacco, LSD, marijuana, opium, liquor, coffee, and tea. Is indulged to fulfill the illicit demands. All these things to fulfill the unwanted demands. If we practice accepting only remnants food offered to Krishna, it is possible to get free from Maya victimization. So we can be free from being the victim of Maya. Vegetable grains. Now, vegetable grains, milk product, water are proper food to offer to the Lord. All right. So what is that? Vegetable, grains, fruit, milk, all these stuff, proper food that you can offer to God. Okay. As Lord Krishna himself prescribed. However, if one accepts prasada only because it is palatable taste and thus eats too much, he also fall prey. All right. So falls prey to try and satisfy the demand of the tongue. Now Prabhupada is saying, all right, well, okay, you don't eat all this nonsense, only eat prasadam. But even prasadam, see, ooh la la, especially like he comes to like Krishna Janmastami, all right, 101 items. Sometimes there's a certain temples make 500 items, right? Ipoh, I think the most we went is 500 items once. So 101 items. So when you see all that, oh, yo, prasadam, so much. So you take one big plate, not enough, you take 2 plates, put everything like Govardhan Hill, right? And you sit there and you start to eat. That is also no good. So what Prabhupada is saying, it's palatable taste and thus eat too much. He still falls in prey and trying to satisfy the demand of the tongue. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes even while eating prasadam. Even when you want to eat prasadam, try to avoid. If we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention, now, another thing, right? It is another important thing. Okay, we are coming towards the end already. All right. So, it says, however, if one accepts prasada only for the okay. Even Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us to avoid very palatable dishes, even eating. Okay. Even if we try to, even we offer palatable dishes to the deity with the intention of eating such nice food, we are also involved in trying to satisfy the demand of the tongue. All right. So today I want to eat something nice. So I cook so nicely and offered there just for me to enjoy. I know I cannot eat non-prasadam. I have to offer to Krishna. So today I feel like eating some nice 16-item dish. So I cook nicely, offer to Krishna, and I whack later. But still, it's also consider the demand of the tongue. If we accept the invitation of rich man with the idea of receiving palatable food, we are also trying to satisfy the demand of the tongue. All right. So in Chaitanya Charita, okay. In Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Leela 6, text 6, chapter 6, text 227, it says, Jivare lalase ye iti uttidaya Shishnodara prayana Krishna nahipaya. That person who runs here and there, the person who runs here and there, seeking to gratify his palate, and who is always attached to the desire of his stomach and genital, is unable to attain Krishna. As stated before, the tongue, belly, genital are situated in a straight line. They fall in the same category. Lord Chaitanya says, Bala na kaibe, ara bale na paribe. Do not dress luxuriously and do not eat delicious food stuff. Okay. Those who suffer from disease of the stomach, okay, those who suffer from the disease of the stomach must be able to control the urges of the belly, at least according to this analysis. All right. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting like Ekadasi and Janmastami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. So the another way of restraining our demand is by fasting, right? So on Ekadasi day and Janmastami day and all these kind of holidays, we fast. So the best way of fasting, of course, refrain from everything. No water, no nothing. But if you cannot restrain yourself from water, at least take fruits, right? If you can't take fruits, at least go and take roots like potato, right? You just boil the potato with some pepper and some butter, eat it. At least it fills your stomach a bit. But if you're still not satisfied, I want to eat rice, no. You do not eat grains on Ekadasi and Janmastami. So when we can fast on these Ekadasi Janmastami, it's also one way of restraining the demand of the belly. As far as the urges of the genitals concerned, there are 2. Okay, urges of genital, there are 2. One is proper and improper. The legal and illicit sex. When a man is properly mature, he can marry according to the rules and regulation of the Sastra and use his genital for begetting the nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means of satisfy demand of the genital and may not use any restraint. All right. When one indulge in illicit sex as defined by Sastra, either by thinking. Now let's look at this. What is the illicit sex? Prabhupada is explaining. Number one, by thinking of it. Number two, planning about it. Number three, talking about it. Sometimes when the boys get together, they talk about sex, even talking about it. Or actually having sexual intercourse. Or by satisfying genital by artificial means. This is also important. Right? So I believe that you all understand what does this mean, all right? So by satisfying the genitals by artificial means, he is caught under the clutches of Maya. These instructions apply not only to householders, but also to Tyagis, those who are in the renounced order of life. In the book Prema Vivarta, chapter 7, Sri Jagadananda Pandit says, he says, Vairagi by Gramya Kata na Shunibe Kane, Gramya Varta na Kahibe Yabi Milibe Ane, Swapane o na Karabai Stri, Sambasana, Grihe Stri Chadya by Asiyachavana, Yadi Chaya Pranaya Rakite Gaurangerasani, Chota Haridasera Katatake Yena Mani, Balana Kaibe Ara, Balana Paribe, Hirdayete Radha Krishna Sarvade Sevibe. Yes. Yes. Correct. Right. Now, my dear brother, you are in renounced order. This is instruction for the renounced order or sannyasi. Okay. You are in renounced order of life and should not listen to talk about ordinary worldly things. Okay. The sannyasi all who are renounced, they shouldn't waste time talking about politics and all this. Nor should you talk about worldly things when you meet with others. Do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted a renounced order of life with a vow that forbids you to associate with women. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridas and how he was rejected by the Lord. Do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in fine garments, but always remain humble and serve their Lordship, Sri Sri Radha Krishna, in your heart of the hearts. All right. So now, the conclusion is that one who can control the 6 items, speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genital, all right, is to be called Swami or Goswami. All right. Swami means master, and Goswami means master of the ego or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title Swami. All right. This is what Prabhupada is explaining for those sannyasis who are this thing. All right. This does not mean that he is master of his family. Someone is not muted. Please mute. Okay. So the conclusion is that, okay, then when one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title Swami. This does not mean he's master of his family, all right, community or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is master of his senses, he should not call Goswami but Godas or servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of 6 Goswami of Vrindavan, all Swamis and Goswamis should fully engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to these, the Godasa, engage in the service of the senses or in the service of the material world. They have no other engagement, right? They have no other. Prahlad Maharaj, the father, has further described in the Godasa as Adantago, which refers to one whose senses are not controlled. And Adantago cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30, Prahlad Maharaj said, Matirna Krishne Pratasvatova Mito Bibatyeta Griha Vratanam Adantagobir Vishatam Tamishram Puna Punascharvitam Charvananam. For those, all right, for those who have decided to continue the existence, now this is very important, this is the last one. For those who have decided to continue the existence in this material world for the gratification of their senses. Okay, now some people say, I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. Today, but there's a term, right? Eat, drink, and be merry. The way they live as though there's no tomorrow. They are fully into this kind of sense gratification. So what Prahlad Maharaj said, for those who have decided to continue the existence, that means to continue existence in this world is your decision. In the material world, for the gratification of the senses, just to enjoy your senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna consciousness. There's no way a person can be Krishna conscious. Not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conference. They are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkness region of ignorance. They will be dragged. That means they'll be dragged into by the unbridled senses. Unbridled senses means the uncontrolled senses into the darkest region of ignorance. And thus, they are madly engaged in what is called chewing the chewed. All right. Look at the term, chewing the chewed. What does that mean? Say like now you're eating chewing gum, right? We throw. Then you take the chewing gum and chew again. What do you get? Oh, you take a sugar cane. Now after Pongal, there's a lot of sugar cane in everyone's house. So you just take the sugar cane and you chew and you suck the juice so nicely. And you take the husk and throw. Then after that, you feel not satisfied. You take the husk and chew again. What do you get? So Prahlad Maharaj mentioned in Canto 7, chapter 5, text 13, Srimad Bhagavatam. He says that when a person who decides to continue in this material world, to go on enjoying the senses, right? There's no way they can become Krishna conscious. So what actually they're doing? They are madly engaged in a thing called chewing the chewed. In this life, I've already suffered enough. All right? I want to make a decision. That's it. But yet, I'm not interested. I want to come back again and still enjoy a human life. Right? I still want to get married. I still want to be born to a father. You know, like my father has left his body. So now again, I want to have another father. So eventually to see him dying again. So that's the thing. So chewing the chewed. All right. So with that, we end this first thing. The first instruction that will spoil your bhakti. That is, vacho. That means a person who wants to become a sadhu, a person who wants to make his bhakti improve, he should be able to refrain from these. Vacho vegam, manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam, udaropasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha, sarvam apimam prithivim ma shishyad. That means a sober person can tolerate the urge of speech, the mind's demand, the action of anger, and the urges of the tongue and belly genitals, is qualified to make disciple all over the world. At the same time, we also understand that all these kind of things can never be overcome on the spot, right? This is quite common, right? So what you need to do, as I've suggested to you, get a journal and write down what are the things that you missed today. Did you miss Vacho Vegam? You talk nonsense. Or suddenly, as I say, you became angry, Krodha. What made you to be angry? All right. So now try to analyze yourself, because you are a very unique person. All right. The person like you never existed before and never exists in the future. Your thumbprint, when you look at your thumbprint, no one has it before. And no one in 1,000 years down the road, no one's going to have it. The way you look, the way you think, you are a very authentic person. So we use our intelligence to check and balance. Now I have gone through these kind of things. So you are not a random person. You are a specific person. So when you are specific, you must be able to be very specific in every of your dealing. So what you need to do, get a journal, like just get a journal and put it and write down what you have gone through today. And through that, try to read back this chapter, this first instruction. Try to read back and try to understand it. All right. And you start to analyze yourself. Where is there anything I did wrong? Right. And through that intelligence, through your own self-analysis, try to rectify yourself step by step. Pray to Krishna. Chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. All right. And let Krishna and also the spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada will guide you. You will be surprised, my dear Prabhus and mothers. You will never believe. I've been talking about Bhagavad Gita so many times. Whenever I open the Bhagavad Gita, I see something new. That means Krishna is imparting the knowledge. So when you just think about it, okay, where I need help and everything, Krishna will reveal the thing to you. But this is the 6 basic things we have to control. The mind, the urge of the mind, the demand of your tongue, the anger, the belly, the genitals, and the taste. All right. All these is the 6 things we have to be controlled. Vacho vegam, the demand of the speech. Total 6. When we could control these 6 things, you just start to see how your life. So now step one, what I'm going to do? Let's start by controlling the urge of the speech. Let's start from there, right? Let's make a point. Okay, now from now onwards, I want to control the urge to speak. And what am I going to do it? I'm going to engage my tongue in chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I just go on chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, and you start to see how your tongue transforms. When you start to see, you start to lose taste on all the other nonsense food, and you start to urge. Look for some prashadam. You know, they say tongue is the one that very hard to control. So let's not look at anything else. Now, step one, let's control our tongue. And the way we don't do it artificially by Mauna Vrita, we're doing it in a right way as prescribed by Srila Rupa Goswami. Let's engage our mind. Talking about Krishna and chanting is all in it. With that, we end the session here. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so sorry I've overshoot by half an hour, all right? Because it is such a beautiful thing, because this text one basically solves all the problem the man is going through in life, all right? When you don't look at spiritually, even in our material life, if you could control all these 6 things, your life can be very peaceful, okay? At least for the sake, we can apply that, all right? So is there any questions or any comment? I think it's already, we overshoot the time, okay? Yes, Kandabalan Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, Prabhu, I'm saying thank you so much for the class.
Oh, okay. No problem. And I'm so sorry, Prabhu, I overshoot the time, because I tried like...
No problem, Prabhu.
Right? So what I suggest, if you have any questions, you ask in the group. If you have any takeaway, also share, like what Madhumita did from Chennai. She shared what is the takeaway. I want to know what you have learned something here. Is there any takeaway? I would like to know, all right? Because I want to see all the things where something that captured your mind, all right? Of course, it is for my own, for me to plan for the next day class, because every day I have to plan, okay, what am I going to talk, which topic that I'm going to touch first, all right? So it helps me. And secondly, please share the YouTube video, and any one of you watching this thing, please put a like there. That means I know how many people watched and how many people liked. Like that day in chapter 18, batch 3, 540 people viewed that video. I got a shock, but not even a single person liked it. So I understand. So what happened? They didn't watch. They just saw 1, 2, they go to the next one. Because through that, I must know, is there anything that, so we have to check and balance and want to improve the way that we present for everyone's benefit. Okay. Till then, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much to all devotees. My gratitude to all of you. Thank you for coming and inspiring me, because if I were to study this alone, definitely I wouldn't just study. Maybe in 10, 15 minutes I've done. But because we are discussing, I am relishing, and I believe that all of you are also relishing. Right? If I've said anything wrong, please forgive me. Whatever I've said, just say that I just refer to Srila Prabhupada's comment. Nothing of this is my own opinion. Till then, have a beautiful day, Tuesday. All right. So tomorrow we're going to continue with chapter 2. Text 2. All right. The second attitude, the character that you need to change. First, now we're talking about your body. Second is your character. What are the things that you need to change to achieve the highest benefit of achieving to become a pure devotee of the Lord? Till then, have a beautiful day. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hare Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
A pleasure. Hare